It's August 2023, and Kuro Games just dropped a trailer for Sanhua, a character from Wuthering Waves. On top of that, they also dropped a whole bunch of new information about her. Let's dive in. She is the Asura that brings catastrophe. She is a silent protector. Born visionless, Sanhua later acquired abnormal visions in the wake of wave-worn phenomenon. The unsettling frequencies she once feared are now her source of power. Based on Resonator Sanhua's reports, Sanhua was born with abnormal eye structure resulting in blindness of both eyes. The later Tacit Discord, or TD, encounter during a blizzard caused by a wave-worn phenomenon left frequency erosions to her right eye, leading to Sanhua's abnormal vision and the subsequent awakening of Forte. The Tacit Mark is located in the pupil of Sanhua's right eye, visible during the use of Forte. According to Sanhua's recounts and examination results, we identified changes to her physical signs after her awakening, which include disorderly frequency responses of the right pupil around the Tacit Mark, presented in a red contour. The frequency erosion continues to spread, reflected by the change in the color of Sanhua's left pupil from gray to red. Sanhua's Forte gives her abnormal vision and the ability to manipulate snow, with the degree of intensity directly correlating to her mental concentration. Combined with Sanhua's recounts, we have come to an initial conclusion that her vision is different from that of the ordinary person, which is the capability to directly observe the frequency of objects. Frequency tests conclude a visual accuracy of 99.64%. Resonance spectrum pattern of this resonator is identical to the existing snow frequency fluctuation. The results of the resonance spectrum pattern around her pupils are also identical to the frequency fluctuation interval of known TDs. Tests reveal strong harmonic responses, yet the cause of Sanhua's awakening remains unclear. Based on test samples revealing a non-convergent Rebel's curve with a steep rise in its middle section, Sanhua is classified as a mutant resonator. Resonator Sanhua's waveform graph shows elliptical fluctuations. The pattern of time domain is stable with no abnormal waveforms. Examination results are determined to be within normal parameters. However, Sanhua's risk of overclocking persists. Resonant criticality, very stable, yet constantly verges on criticality level. Risk of overclocking remains high. Records show past history of overclocking. Maximum overclock rating, moderate. Among her past overclock occurrences, there were numerous times when Sanhua was on the extremity of her resonant criticality for extended durations, during which extreme frequency fluctuation reactions caused outbursts of energy, triggering level 2 blizzards. No civilian casualties were reported in these incidents. These series of events are currently documented under code EX01521, classified as Class 3 hazard events. Diagnostics reveal TD frequency erosion affecting Sanhua's perception of objects, causing frequency fluctuation, leading to outbursts of frequency energy. The after effect of overclocking is the increased speed of erosion, ultimately changing the color of Sanhua's left pupil from gray to red. Combined with the behaviors of Sanhua's Forte and past her overclock history, Sanhua bears a certain risk of overclocking. Close monitoring of Resonator Sanhua's psychological and physical condition is advised. Routine counseling and examinations are required. So we got some pretty cool information here. The biggest reveal, perhaps, besides, Sanhua being blind, is that we have a name now for the waveform mark. The Tacit Mark. Pretty much every playable character has one of these. Actually, every single one does so far, now that Sanhua actually has hers. In previous closed beta, she actually didn't have one at all, and her eye didn't do anything special, which was strange because it used to glow in the technical test. But it looks like they've gone back and fixed that. It was probably just unfinished. On top of that, we got a really cool look at her attacks. It seems pretty much the same as in the closed beta test, but things look a little bit nicer now. Without any knowledge of the game, if you haven't played it at all yet, her attacks might look really, really simple, but her Forte, which is kind of like her core passive in PGR, is a timing-based system. And if you've played Final Fantasy X and you've ever used Tidus's Overdrive, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. You have to press a button at the right time in order to ensure that she does more damage. Actually, it's one of the reasons I'm hoping they allow you to move the UI around on desktop, because trying to stare at that little gauge at the bottom of the screen was not very easy for me. That said, there are some other tells, and you'll kind of get the feeling for the timing just by playing her. I think I just didn't spend enough time playing Sanhua. For reference, this is how she looked in the closed beta test. Not too much has changed, but things are a little bit cleaner. There's a little bit more attention to detail. Sanhua is definitely the most Nier Automata looking character. Her top looks like it could have come straight out of that game. Her normal attacks are quite fast, but if you look closely, there's a lot of cool attention to detail for how she whips out her sword, all her cool samurai moves. She can also blow up her eyes, so that's kind of fun. Don't be fooled by her resonance skill and her resonance liberation both looking like just some ice spikes. When you get into the playstyle, it's very cool. I found her really fun to play in the closed beta, so going forward she can only be better. And frankly, it's amazing that a 4-star character has this much love put into her, but that's Kuro Games all over. Now let's talk about the trailer itself. Kuro Games has been known for doing some pretty cool PVs for PGR in the past, but they never just... I mean, maybe this is just my opinion, but I think they just never had the level of hype that Hoyoverse trailers have. Can I say that? Is that allowed? If there's one thing that Hoyoverse is good at doing, it's making extremely hype trailers with really, really good editing. But with this trailer for Sanhua, I'm feeling like someone on their team is really getting it. Like, this is a really good trailer.
All that once corroded me shall now be frozen in ice.
The English voice acting is also really nice in it.
Many associate snow with coldness and demise, but to me, it's the only untainted white. Blizzard breaks out in an instant. It all ends here. My shackles are no more. May our world be clean as snow, ever so pure.
It sounds a lot nicer than the very stilted dubbing that was done for the closed beta test, which is not the voice actor's fault. I'm sure it's just a voice direction thing. Knowing that Sanhua is one of the very basic starter early game characters has me really excited for what's to come in the future, based on how far PGR has come with its characters.
My bush is floating.